Have you ever felt like you're just copying everyone else around you because it's easy? Or maybe you feel like you're choosing the same old path in front of you because it's supposed to be the safe option, or even it's what's expected of you. Maybe even deep down, you know you could do something completely different, but stepping off of this well-beaten path feels scary. I know I've definitely been there. Imagine this. You're standing at this fork in a road. One side is very well worn. It's very busy. Everyone is walking there because it's the normal thing to do. You see your friends, your families, your peers, they're all there waving to you, beckoning you to join them. But there's this thing inside of you, something that you know that this isn't the path for you. But you look the other direction, the other way, and it's a lot quieter. It's overgrown, it's wild, it's a little bit exciting, but it's very terrifying at the same time. You don't see many people choosing this path, and none of them are people that you know. Which path do you choose? Do you choose the one that's well-worn, that feels familiar, where you're surrounded by the people who you already know, who are encouraging you to just join in? Or do you choose the other path? Do you choose the unknown, even though it looks to be a bit more lonely and a lot more difficult? I know for myself, for the longest time, I walked the well-worn path. I didn't have a bias for action for myself. I didn't really know what I wanted in my life, let alone which path to even choose, or even that there were other paths. So I always chose the safe route, quote unquote safe route, because in my mind it was the only path. It was the one that was expected of me. And it's the one that I saw, people succeeding on, whatever that meant. But it wasn't until I actually really started to get to know myself more, who I am, what my wants are, what my dreams are, my hopes are, my aspirations, that I started to see other paths starting to open up, and the appeal of those other paths, despite the fact that they are harder and scarier and definitely more lonely. But as I have stepped off well-worn paths onto wild terrain, onto paths that don't even exist, I am literally creating them as I walk them. I have learned more about myself. I have proved more to myself of what I am capable of than I ever thought possible. I've also met some incredibly amazing people who I have much deeper, richer, lasting connections and relationships to than I ever had on that well-worn path. And I only consider myself at the very beginning of stepping off the path of least resistance. So what do you think? Are you at one of those crossroads? Are you currently walking one of those two paths? I would love to hear from you down in the comments what path you're on, what you've learned about yourself. Which of the two paths would you take if you found yourself at those crossroads? Let me know. I would love to support you, celebrate with you, learn from you. Let me know. I'd love to hear where you're at.